Welcome back to part 2 of the red marbles. We're going to work on the big red marble for which this video series is named for. Outline your red marble with Carbothello 750 black and then place a thin white line on the left side about middle of the marble with Carbothello 100 white. This will be a highlight. Fill in the marble with a base coat of 722.5 permanent red and blend well with a blender. Carefully blend in all that pastel. You can use a bigger piece of sponge if you need to blend it in, or just use the smaller blenders that you have. But push it hard and get it into the paper as best you can. Reinforce all the lines that are drawn on the inside of your marble with Conte number 19 purple. You can see them through the red pastel that you just applied. So we want to outline those so that we can see them a little bit better. You may also use a Carbothello 330 purple to draw these lines. It has a sharper point, so if that would be easier for you, you can certainly use that. Use a Carbothello 100 white to outline the brightest highlight on the top of your red marble. I'm continuing to outline these shapes. I'm going over the top edge next to the highlight, but I'm going to just draw the different sections that are inside this red marble. The lines are there. You should be able to see them through the red pastel. So I'm just going to mark them all off, and then we can go through and add color to them individually. Continue drawing all the sections of the red marble with the Conte number 19 pencil. I'm going to speed this up for you a little bit while I add all of these lines inside the marble. Using your 39 Conte pencil, garnet red, color around the white highlight area of your red marble. You can darken that area with the number 19 Conte purple. Alternately, you can also use a Giraud 378 with a Giraud 47 over top of it to make a more vibrant red. I used both in this demonstration, and I'll point it out to you. I like Giraud colors very much. There are lots of pigment in them for a stronger color note. Here I'm using the Carbothello 330 to darken around the top edge and around the highlight area of the marble. I'm continuing with the Conte number 39 garnet red to color the brighter, darker red areas of the marble. Alternately, you can use Giraud 378. On this side, I'm going to use the Conte pencils. On the other side, I'm going to use the Girauds. Use your blender to blend in the color. Use the Carbothello 750 black to draw in a dark line in the middle on the left at the circumference of the marble. Also draw a line at the lower left near the bottom. Use the 750 black to shade the dark area. Blend well and add some Conte 39 garnet red on the top, or you can use your Giraud 378. Blend everything together with your blender. Here I'm going to add Conte number 19 purple over top of that. Or you could use the Garnet 39, or you can use your Giraud color. Down here at the bottom on the left side, we're going to use Carbothello 722 Cold Gray 2 to add the gray reflection on the lower left side. Lighten this area. After you've added the 722, we want to add a lighter gray with Pitt 230 Cold Gray number 1. The Pitt pencils are a bit harder than the Carbothellos, but they have some wonderful colors, and I do enjoy using them. Now I'm using a Carbothello 770 Payne's Gray to darken the very bottom edge of the marble. And then I'm going to darken the outside edge of this marble with 750 Carbothello Black. Here I'm adding some black. Just blending it in to make this a little bit darker. I'm using the 750 black to shade the bottom area of that little sliver that we just painted light colored. I drew a black line with the 750 and then lightly shaded over that. And now I'm adding a bit of 231 light gray Pitt over that. I'm using Carbothello 330, and I'm also using Conte 19 purple to make a little bit darker area right here in the middle between those two spots that are going to be black later. You could also use Giraud 47 to darken that area. It makes a rich dark without being too purpley. Here I'm using a new color that we haven't used before in this video. This is Conte number 40, which is called Red Lead. And I'm filling in this area down here. It's kind of got an orange tone to it. It's different. And over top of that, I'm adding Conte number 3 Vermilion. And blending the two together. You can use Conte number 19 to darken that upper edge just a little bit, or you could use Giraud 47. And I'm using here, I'm going to use a Carbothello 750 black. And there are some little spots that need to go in there. So I'm going to use my 750 black to put those in. And I'm going to blend in that black with my finger to darken that up a little. I'm adding a little more red lead, number 40 at the bottom. And now I'm going to use gold yellow, which is Conte number 14, on the very bottom edge to add a really bright light. That just popped it out. A little more red lead to blend that in, and a little bit of white, Carbothello white on the bottom edge to make that a little bit brighter. This is actually Derwent white, but use the Carbothello white because that's what we were using before. I'm using vermilion number 3 around the bottom edge, add a little more red, and I'm going to draw it up into the center area above the black line. Over top of that, I'm going to use orange number 12 Conte pencil to make a bright highlight on top of that. Take your black pastel pencil, a Carbothello 750, and color in the black shape that's in the center of the red marble. Use the Conte 39 to kind of blend in that black. And use your blender to smooth it together. Use the Conte number 39 garnet red to darken in between these two shapes. Alternately, you can use the Giraud 378 with some 47 over it. This is a black pastel pencil. Use Carbothello 750 over that if you would like, instead of using the Girauds, and blend thoroughly with your little sponge. When your sponge gets dirty or filled with pastel, you can wipe it off on a towel to kind of clean it up. Here I'm using Conte number 40 red lead to lighten the area. And I'm still not satisfied with that bottom, so I'm going over it with a little more color. I'm filling in this other little shape with black pastel. Use Carbocello 750 black. And fill it in and blend it with your little blender. Now I'm pulling it down into the red area underneath the shape to darken it. You can also use Giraud 47 to do that. And I'm adding some Carbocello 39 to lighten up that area. This is where the Giraud colors help. They keep it from getting too muddy. I'm using the red lead number 40 Conte pencil to draw down the center of our marble. The top right area that's now painted, forgot to turn my camera on, was base coated with Giraud 378, and the darker area was put on with Giraud 47. I also put some highlights along that line that we filled in a few minutes ago with Conte pencils number 14, 40, and the orange, which was 12. Now I'm putting some black Carbocello pastel pencil over the top of this area, and I will blend it in to darken it. Here I'm darkening up an area with my 750 Carbocello black. And now I'm using my Giraud 378 to add some vibrant red to the marble. It was a little dull before, but this perked it right up. I'm going to darken it down a little with some black. And I'm finger blending. I'm filling in this area with 378 Giraud, or you could use your Conte Garnet and 39 and Conte 19, which is purple. And I'm going to blend it with my little sponge. I'm going to highlight that top edge with number 40 red lead and use my black Carbocello pencil to darken it just a little on these edges. Now it's time to add some brighter highlights to really make this marble sing. I'm going to use a Sedalier 681, which is red Helios number 2, to add some highlights just in a few places. This is very soft pastel, and it's just full of color. I'm going to draw a line back between, I lost a line there, so I'm using my purple Conte pencil to do that, and over that using a black Carbothello. So the Sennelier color adds it gives a real punch of color to our painting. Darkening a few areas with black and blending it with my finger. And now I'm going to use my red Sennelier color to add a pop of bright red in that spot. Darken it just a little bit using my black Carbothello pastel pencil. This is the Giraud 378. So I'm putting some darker red in this area. That's a beautiful color. It's not as soft as the Sennelier, but it's softer than the pastel pencils. I'm blending that a little bit with my pastel pencil. And now I'm going to add some softer color and brighter color with another Sennelier, which is number 37, which is orange. And I'm just going to put that in there and see how bright and beautiful that is, and then blend it slightly with my finger. And here I'm using a Giraud 47 to add a little darker red. It's a little too vibrant right there, so I'm putting that right between those two pops of orange. It's just perfect. Now if you don't have those, again, please use your Conte 39 and your number 19 purple. I've changed back to the 378 Giraud, which is a little redder, a little brighter color, and I'm putting it into this section. After adding the Giraud colors, I'm going to blend this a little bit with my Conte pencil number 3 Vermilion. This is a small area, and I'm kind of just blending those reds together. Blending it with my finger. Now I'm using the 750 Carbothello black to put in some little black areas that I see on the surface of the marble, reflections from the other marbles around it. And now I'm going to add a brighter red. I'm going back to our Sennelier 681 Red Helios number 2, very bright red, and gently blending that with my finger. I'm going to round off this edge with the black Carbothello and color in this black shape that I see on the marble. I'm using the Conte pencil number 39 garnet red to add some color, darken it a little bit in this area, and blend the black into the red. And now I'm using my Giraud number 47 to darken that area further. It looks really nice. I love this color. Now I didn't get exactly where I wanted it, so I'm going to come back over that with Giraud 378, which is our redder color, and then add some Sennelier Helios Red number 2. That is spectacular color. And then I'm going to blend that together with my finger. You can see my hands are covered with red pastel. I'd advise you wear gloves. Now I'm adding a little more red in different places that I see. Using the 47 Giraud. And get a nice edge with that Giraud because it's harder, so I can go back and darken areas. If you don't have this color, then use your Conte 19, which is purple. This is our Helios Red again, the Sennelier, very soft. I'll put a fine line of red down that edge, and then put some black 750 to kind of even out that edge and darken it so we can see it better. I'm adding more red highlights with the Sennelier Helios Red. I'm going to blend that with my blender. It just brings it to life. I'm going to darken the edge of that line with the Carbothello 750 black. I'm going to even it up a little bit more with the Garnet Red number 39 Conte pencil. Finger blending it, just kind of patting the color in. Putting in a little more dark red with my Giraud 378. It's not really dark red, it's darker, but it's a brighter red than the pencils can do. I'm using the 750 Carbothello black to draw the edge, draw the outline of the marble. And I'm going to fill in this little area of black on the outside edge. And if you notice, I'm going to leave a little area open, drill a little circle around it. A highlight's going to go there, so I'm going to leave that open for my highlight. I'm going to blend it with my blender and then go back over it a little bit to make it a little darker. Now I'm using Giraud 47 to put a darker red area in towards the bottom of the marble. If you don't have this color, then use Conte 19 purple. And I'm going to blend it with my little blender. I'm using the Giraud 47 again to draw some darker red right in the center of this marble. Up a little higher. And blend it with my finger and add some Sennelier Red Helios number 2. I'm putting in a couple more highlights with the red Sennelier. And now I'm using the orange number 37 Sennelier to put in some brighter highlights. Wow, I just love that orange. I'm putting in a couple of dark lines and I need to draw them, so I'm using the purple Conte pencil, and then in the center of that using the red Sennelier to put a highlight there. I'm going to darken up a couple of areas with the black and darken those little lines that are through that area with the 750 black. Now I've got my 230 Pitt Pastel, which is the light cool gray, and I'm adding this in this area where in my reference photo to me it looks like a light gray. And because the Pitt Pastel pencils are harder than the Carbothellos and therefore harder than any of the other pastels in our project, we can use them to put accents on the top that it might be harder for you to get with another pastel. The Pitts are very nice for that. So I'm putting a gray edge on the outside. And this is a gray reflection. I'm putting some more highlights in with my Sennelier red. Adding more accents with the Sennelier's red and orange, and kind of fine-tuning things now. I'm using the orange number 37. Look how bright that is, just amazing. And evening it out with the black. Now I'm using my Diane Townsend to add a bright white highlight right on the edge. I'm going to shape that using the black. Now I'm going to use my white Carbothello 100 pencil to fill in the highlight that we put in, outlined and put in when we started this project. After adding the Carbothello white, I'm putting some bright highlights in with Diane Townsend white. I'm using my Conte 19 and also my Carbothello black to even out around those highlights. I'm putting in a few brighter highlights with my Diane Townsend. And I even have a little piece of yellow in my pastel box that I'm using. If you don't have that, it's fine. Just use the orange. Now I'm outlining the reflection with the black Carbothello. I'm going back with my black Carbothello 750, and I'm going to add a few more darks, even up some things, looking around the painting and seeing if I need to add something. And I've decided it needs to be a little darker right there. I hope you've enjoyed this video on painting the red marble. Join us for part 3, where we'll paint the reflection of the marble and a few of the other marbles in this project.